Alright, so here's our second example of the Kirby Calculator. Starting from where we left off, create a new document, we got a blank canvas. I'm going to draw a simple diagram again from Savilio's Lectures on Three Manifolds book. It's got several that are nice starting points here. A little plumbing here. Drawing these as diamonds just to make them easier to draw. Obviously they're all going to be circle packed in a second, so no need to worry about how messy this looks. And there we go. Process. Coefficients, they're all two handles, -1, -7, -2, -2, -2, -3. Finished. Alright, there's our starting point. I'm going to again click Auto Simplify just to keep ourselves from having to mess with the 1 and 2 moves, the Reidemeister 1 and 2 moves. The -1 in the middle is already, again, a simple loop, no self-crossings, no crossings inside. One click and it's going to blow down. There we go. In fact, we immediately obtain a little light blue -1 here. Unfortunately, it's got some crossings inside. Well, that's fixable. You can easily see pulling this strand over or this one under will get the crossings on the outside of the light blue. This would just be a Reidemeister 3 move, and it's simple enough. To do a Reidemeister 1, 2, or 3 move on a diagram, simply click the face that emits a Reidemeister 1, 2, or 3 move. It's a three-sided face. It's got an over, so click it. Done. Another 3 move, and we're set. Okay, so just click a 1, 2, or 3-sided region if a Reidemeister move applies. Well, now we're set. This -1, again, has no self-crossings, no crossings inside. Ready to blow down. There we go. We're left with another diagram. Again, we have another -1. There's crossings inside, but again, no crossings outside, so that's all fine. We can blow that guy down. And we're at sort of our first landing point of the process here. We've got a -1 frame trefoil and a couple of -2 earrings attached to it. The next step is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, see it better. What we'd like to do is get a clasp of the opposite type in this trefoil, and the way to do that's going to be, I went to the magnifying glass, coming back to moves here. What I'd like to do is not quite a basic Reidemeister move. What I'd like to take is this overcrossing strand and drag it over that crossing there. And, other than the 1, 2, and 3 moves, which you do by clicking a face, this one you do by clicking your crossing that you want to start on, and dragging to wherever you want that strand to go to an adjacent crossing. And when you're done, this is what you've got. Now we're at our first example of a blow up. As you can see, click a clasp to blow up. There's the clasp we want to blow up. All you do is click inside that face, just like with a 2 move. A 2 move, of course, you're going to have a non-alternating 2-gon. Now you've got an alternating 2-gon. If you have one of those and you click on it on a Kirby diagram, the appropriate +or-1 blow up will happen. The appropriate handle slides to undo that clasp, and here we go. Click. There you have it. Now you notice the red component has become a -1 frame component, and it's unknotted, as you can easily see if you ignore the blue, but of course it's tangled up with the blue a bit. We'd like to blow that down, but as mentioned, we can't have crossings on the inside of the -1 here, so, we can't have self-crossing of the -1 either, so we need to do a fair bit of cleanup here. I guess this one is the easy one to see first. A simple 3 move on this face will get rid of our problem. Great. But we need to still get rid of this crossing. We can do a 1 move here, a 1 move here. I'm going to do the 1 move here because it only involves 1 blue strand instead of 2 strands. The cleaner you keep it, the nicer diagram you'll get. The one thing you'll notice, though, is this is not technically speaking a proper 1 move because the red component certainly itself would like a 1 move, but the blue's tangled up. Fortunately, that's not a problem. This is a common enough occurrence to be useful to code it in. If you have a situation in a Kirby diagram with a 1 move relative to a given component, with other stuff jumbled up in it, no problem. Just click somewhere on that 1-gon, and the 1 move will be affected with whatever appropriate twists are necessary for whatever it's tangled up with. Well, now we're all set. We have a -1. We have no crossings inside. We're ready to blow down. Blow it down. A little bit messy here. We're actually ready to blow down the -1, so I'm gonna not be careful here. I'm gonna just blow down the -1 right now, and we end up with another -1. In fact, it looks like a 3 move will undo it, so I'm gonna do a 3 move and blow it down. Now what you've got is a bit of a mess. This is typical, I suppose, with knot diagrams or Kirby diagrams. What I want to do is get this to some nice shape. And again, it's a trial and error process sometimes. What I'm going to do is select manipulation mode. So far we've seen Kirby moves, which includes Reidemeister moves. Manipulation mode is only manipulations of the knot diagram itself. No Kirby moves, no blow-ups, no blow-downs, no handle slides. Okay? So if I just want to mess with the knot but don't want to accidentally click something that blows up or blows down, I can just manipulate. I'm just going to try and smooth this thing out a bit. I guess what I see is that this guy can come around. I'm just going to click for some 1, 2, and 3 moves. This is a good 3 move right here. Move this around. Just a bit of random clicking here. I think I can get it to a good spot. I'm starting to see things occur right there. Let me pull this guy past. Let me pull this guy past. Again, a bit of trial and error here. Looks to me that I'd like to get these. Oh, that's a 1 move. Great. 3 move. There we go. Okay. So what you've seen is just maybe a random set of 1, 2, and 3 moves there to get us to this nice twist knot. This is the desired result. But a quick remark on this. Again, the functionality of this program. Additional features may be added to do further larger simplifications of knots automatically, but right now it just does 1 and 2 moves. In these sorts of processes where you're doing trial and error manipulation of a knot diagram, it is very, very useful to have such software here. We can always, if you're doing trial and error, you can always back up with Control-Z and go forward with Control-Shift-C. You can do trial and error with very little recovery time when you realize you need to go back to a previous phase. And that's what we end up with here. Of course, once you've got this diagram out in Kirby mode, you can, blow up again and blow down and all the usual stuff. So everything is still there. But that's a slightly more complicated procedure, again, from a plumbing diagram out to a single knot. Again, taken from Zavilio's book just to show some example of the functionality here.